What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Discover Crypto. My name's Kelly Kellum, and in this video, we're going to be breaking down a Bitlab lesson on how we can forecast or see where price action is likely going to be magnetized, sucked into. Will it break through? Will it reverse back down? All we really want to pay attention to as an investor, as a trader more specifically, is where will the price action likely go to, and then we can reconvene on what the data says about will it likely break through or not, so we can be prepared when we're in the trade. So diving into the chart here, we can see based on yesterday's price action, and don't worry, if you're watching this at any point in the future, this is going to be true all the time when you're looking at what's happening in the chart. Using this data set, using the Bitlab volume, part of the Bitlab trading stack, this is a volume range here, and we can see the point of control, which is this teal line, the highest level of volume that's traded at specific price points. And we can see to the right here, this level, this peak is the highest peak, meaning the most volume has been traded at this price point. Where do we see the price action went back to in this push up here? Right to that point of control. In addition to that, we can see if we move this around, give it a second to load, we can see that this point of control moves based on the visible range, meaning whatever is on this chart. That's what the VRVP or visible range of the volume profile. We can see this moves and gives us that data point. Where is the highest level of interest on the chart we're looking at? Now, the next thing I want you to notice are these red and green boxes. This is part of the Bitlab volume. Again, part of the Bitlab trading stack. We can see these auto-populate, and what they are is order blocks. Now, what are order blocks? Order blocks refer to specific price areas where large market participants, such as institutional traders, smart money, big money, all those big players, have previously placed significant buy or sell orders. So what we're seeing here, we're looking into the actions and the plans and what's been happening in the charts with these big money players. And these areas can act as magnets, essentially bringing price towards those high areas of interest. And we can see very clearly here, price action came right up into this red order block that printed all the way back here August 8th and rejected right out of it. Now, we know based on the news that there's a lot of things at play, but there's a lot of traders out there that trade specifically only on the technicals. And there's other people that are doing longer term position buys and buying contextually what the narrative is in the market. And so both those things are at play here. But when we're looking just at the technicals, we had a magnet essentially up here, high area of interest, large players, clusters of orders, buy and sell orders in the zone. Price action rockets up. This is exactly where it found resistance and came back down to a little bit of an equilibrium as it stands right now. Now, what do we do with this? Well, we can see there's an area of interest, two of them, in fact, on this chart directly below us. Now, what I want to recommend to each and every one of you is utilize multiple time frames when you're trading, when you're trying to find those entries and those exits, utilizing your technical and fundamental analysis in concert so you can identify the areas for your entries and your exits. And in this case, we can look above us and see these two areas of interest, potential resistance zones, consolidation zones, or even rejection zones. So we can plan accordingly, manage our risk, and make sure that we don't get stuck on the wrong side of the trade or break up our entries and exits. So let's go ahead and look at a smaller time frame and see if there's more order blocks, areas of interest on those smaller time frames that can give us a little more clarity about where we can find some potential support and resistance as it relates to interest and price levels on this asset. And this works on Bitcoin, your altcoins, stocks, all these different assets that you could trade, any asset really that you're charting here on TradingView. So let's come down here to the 4-hour chart and we'll see what order blocks print when we're looking at this chart. Now, in this case, we see the order block was quite a bit higher, and that printed all the way over here on July 14th. We didn't quite make it all the way up there, but we know because we're utilizing multiple time frames that we already had that area outlined as a potential area for rejection. So when we come down to this smaller time frame, we can see what's going on, and we see a new order block is printed directly above us. So this suggests that if price action does get sucked back up into this zone, we need to be a little careful about what's happening here because there's been clusters of large buy and sell orders. In this case, we can tell it's predominantly sell orders because the price action came down. So when this comes back up into the zone, we need to make sure that we're not just going all in, trying to catch it before it just breaks out and runs away without us. That's called FOMO. Let's use the technicals. Let's use the data in this chart to identify how we can best play our positions. Now, in this case, if this does push up into the zone, we know we have work to do above this area as well, up here in the 30,600 to 31,300 level. And this is without knowing anything about what's going on with price action, just utilizing the Bitlab volume. It's giving us those areas of interest. Now, if this does reject, we have areas directly below us down here at 26,600 and also right here at 26,000 even. Now, if we want to get more specific, zoom in, you're a scalper, you want to do all those trades throughout the day. It's okay, but you need to make sure you're managing your risk and being aware of these larger time frames. So let's get down to the 24-minute chart and see if there's any areas of interest with order blocks on here that can give us a little bit more insight. Now here we can see on the 24-minute chart, as the price action pushed up and came back down, there's a large cluster of orders right in this region. Price action pushed back into this zone, got rejected, and formed a secondary order block in this territory. Now, price action breaks down, form a new order block below. So it looks like we're going into a little bit of a consolidatory range, meaning the price action is getting tighter and tighter, and it's going to have to determine whether or not people are going to sell off and come back down to this range or push up and retest this again. Now, again, just because we start pushing up, don't go all in. Just because price action is moving in the direction of your bias. Hedge yourself. Be prepared with risk management, stop losses, but utilize the tools available to you here in the Bitlab trading stack, or if you're using other indicators, it doesn't matter what data set you're using, just make sure you're finding confluence. In this case, we're using the Bitlab volume, but I wouldn't trade only using this indicator. I will utilize this in conjunction with what's happening down here on the Bitlab trend fuel, or if you're using stochastics and momentum and RSI or market cipher or Lux Algo, use the concert of different data tools available to you so you can identify those areas and then identify the other data sets that can either confirm or deny your thesis. That's all I got for you in this video. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ding the bell. And if you're interested in getting your hands on this indicator and diving in, getting these areas outlined for you, head over to bitlabacademy.com and go to the indicators area right here, Bitlab Trading Stack, and add it. You can still use Give Me 30 for 30% off your first month. I love you all. I appreciate you. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Adios.